evening. Now, whilst Sir Keir Starmer is proving to be as unpopular as Prince Andrew at a Girl Guides fundraiser, things are looking even worse for Rachel Reeves, whose budget has seen the OBR downgrade our growth prospects and predict higher inflation and interest rates. Growth under Rishi Sunak was 0.5%, the highest in the G7, and now it is 0.1%. I don't know about you, but I really miss Rishi. What a crying shame that this talented and honest politician who committed to Rwanda, reduced inflation to 2% and boosted growth, now spends his days wandering around his rural constituency, listening to farmers bemoan the price of chicken feed and bull semen. Speaking of which, who is Rachel Reeves kidding? Calling October's nightmare budget a budget for growth is like Vladimir Putin calling his illegal invasion of his eastern neighbour a battle for a new improved Ukraine. Rachel Reeves has proudly told anyone that will listen that she is Britain's first woman Chancellor. How embarrassing for women. But all is not lost, because I've been on LinkedIn today, which is a networking website where professional people publish their professional history and their qualifications. And it turns out that Rachel Reeves has had an incredible career. You won't believe it. First of all, she was a senior economist at the Bank of England for 55 years. But it doesn't stop there. Here is our top 10 list of major things that Rachel Reeves has achieved in her life. In at number 10, did you know that Rachel Reeves was the fifth Beatle? Amazing but true. In at number 9, she scored the winning goal in the 1966 World Cup final. It was a header. In at number 8, she defeated Muhammad Ali in the ring in 1981, ending his boxing career. She packs a punch. At number 7, Rachel Reeves split the atom in 1917, thereby single-handedly inventing nuclear fission, which sees the production of gamma photons and the release of enormous amounts of radioactive energy. At number 6, she invented the iPhone and the fax machine and the hostess trolley, whilst we're on inventions. At number 5, Rachel Reeves discovered America in 1492. That's right, she's amazingly well preserved. She must use a good face cream. And hopefully, with her connections to America, maybe she can get us that trade deal. At number 4, not many people know this, but Rachel Reeves built the pyramids. That's right, 2,000 years ago. Knackering work, she did it completely on her own. And let's hope that she can now build all those houses she promised. At number 3, Rachel Reeves memorably starred as Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses, alongside Buster Merryfield and Nicholas Lyndhurst. I always thought Del Boy was a lefty. At number 2, now there's a lot of speculation about whether Shakespeare was actually a woman. He was. It was Rachel Reeves, the greatest playwright the world has ever seen. That's why her speeches in the House of Commons are so captivating. And at number 1, last but not least, I don't know if you know this, but Rachel Reeves defeated Hitler and ended the Second World War. And apparently, she still drinks a couple of bottles of brandy a day. Well, it's working, because she's the best. What a CV. I've got to say, I can't wait to hear what this amazing lady does next. Either way, I suspect her visit to the job centre is just a matter of time. Reacting to that and much more, tonight's Friday Night Friends, my absolutely brilliant A-team. We have no-nonsense dropper of truth bombs, Chloe Dobbs, BBC Radio legend Liz Kershaw, and a brand new star on Friday Night Live, making his second appearance on the show, fearless political commentator Lewis Oakley. Lewis, good to have you back.
Thank you.
The Chancellor's got to worry. She's now the butt of jokes, isn't she? Not least on this programme.
She is. I mean, what can you say? I mean, retrospectively changing your experience on LinkedIn, I mean, they should have seen that coming. How did they think no one would notice it? However, I will say, when it comes to the election we just had, I don't think anyone went on LinkedIn, saw her LinkedIn posts and thought, oh my God, I was going to vote Tory, but now it's swung it for me, I'm going to vote Labour. I don't think it's the biggest thing that's ever happened, but I actually do think it brings on a bit of a bigger question. I mean, you know, we've had 14 years of Tories, ended in disaster. We've had 5 minutes of Labour, it's a disaster. Actually, you know, are these politicians the best place to be running things like the economy? Should we not maybe have them hire someone that could do it, that actually does have that great experience? That would be my thinking.
Well, that's an interesting question posed by Lewis there. Were things disastrous in July of this year, Liz Kershaw?
Oh, definitely. But before that, she did dupe the people of West Leeds when presenting herself as an economist in the election there to be their MP. So she...
I mean, she's been an economist for a good number of years. Yeah. Are we not nitpicking here?
Well, I'm an economist. Well, what's the I've got economics A level at the age of 16. I did an economics segment as part of my management studies degree at Leeds University. Could I not call myself an economist?
Does it matter, though? Is this
trivial?
At
least I know Maynard Keynes.
Does this affect, like, my viewers and listeners who are worried about whether they should switch on the radiator tonight?
There's no reason for her to have lied. There's no reason for her to have been so dishonest, because we all know that ministers, members of the cabinet, are total amateurs. They switch jobs every few months, and suddenly they're in charge of defence, and then 3 months later they're an expert on education. None of them know from their elbow, and they rely on the civil servants of this world, the top civil servants and the departments that they head. So in her case now, the Treasury. Just say, these are my beliefs about society, this is how things should be run, these are my values, and if I'm put into a job like that, I'll work my socks off for you. But please don't claim that you've got the qualifications for the job.
Interesting.
Because 99% of them don't.
No, I mean, Chloe, does she ride out this political storm?
Well, I mean, it partly depends what else crops up on the news. If it's a slow news day, then she'll be unlucky. If you get a busy news day, then she'll be lucky.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had this conspiracy theory that maybe the reason why we allowed the Ukrainians to use those British missiles and to nearly start World War III is so that there would be something in the news to cover up the CV story. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is just another huge Labour mess-up. We've had so many of them right from day one. It's just the cherry on top of a huge pile of Labour lies. And, I mean, no doubt there'll probably be another Labour scandal next week, and then we'll forget about the CV thing. But it's just all building up, and their approval ratings are just plummeting, and they're not going to recover. I think we all knew that, well, most of us knew that the Labour cabinet were not very qualified before we saw the change to her CV, but then that really just felt like a smack in the face to the electorate.
Well, at least we now know that, apart from being a toolmaker's son, Keir Starmer is an experienced farmhand.
Well, that's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, that was this week.
He's knee-deep in the brown stuff this week, let me tell you. It's going to be a good feeling. I mean, Lewis, does this stuff matter? This CV stuff, does it matter? Do my viewers and listeners care?
It matters, right? You're holding one of the highest offices in the land. We expect transparency, and I do think, if you're being elevated to such positions, you need to be whiter than white. I mean, there's been a lot of talk this week about, everyone lies a little bit on their CV. Well, everyone isn't in charge of the nation's finances. So I do think it's important. I don't think it's, the worst thing any politician's ever done. I think Labour have messed up quite a bit in the 5 minutes they've been in, and this is not really near the top. You disagree?
No, carry on, sorry.
I thought you were going to go in about a ravenous defence there.
I just had a big...
No, so I do think it matters. It's not the end of the world. It's important, but I do think we have to think about what kind of standards do we want to hold our politicians to. And I think when it comes to, just honesty about what your experience is, then I think that this is relevant. But I do step back and I go back to your point. It's like, but they do switch around every 5 minutes.
But Lewis, does it matter if she winds up becoming a good Chancellor? Because Labour are very, very clear, and the public will agree, because they've just elected a Labour government, that actually the Tories messed up the economy. Mm-hmm. And the reason why the budget's been unpopular is not because it's an incompetent budget, but because it's plugging a £20 billion black hole. They don't want to tax the farmers or employers, but they've been given no choice because of Tory failure. So if she can deliver at number 11, is that all that matters? Is that not the priority?
Look, I want the country to succeed. If she can do something magical with the numbers and we're all just throwing gold at each other, happy days. She's not going to succeed.
Why do you say she's not going to succeed?
Because there's just too many incompetencies. This 22 billion budget came out of nowhere. What they're doing to the farmers, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think her incompetency is already clear as day, and it's hilarious it's hilarious what the left.
By the way, can I just say that Rachel Reeves actually built that chair? It's a trap chair.
It's hilarious what the lefty spin doctors at The Guardian have been up to try and get Rachel Reeves out of this, saying, oh, she may have lied on her CV, but she has already shown to be the best Chancellor ever, way better than the past 14 years. But, I mean, I'm sorry, but no. She's blaming the Tories for this 22 billion black hole, acting like I'm good at maths, it was just the Tories. But after she made her budget plan and then showed it to the Treasury, they said, OK, you've accounted for the 22 billion black hole, but you're actually missing another 16, 17 billion. You need to put up more taxes. She couldn't do basic maths. She's awful.
Incompetence is a bit harsh, isn't it? It's following, previous Prime Minister Liz Truss, who I'm imagining you supported a couple of years ago.
No, I didn't actually.
Did you not?
No,
Did you not?
I actually voted for Rishi in that.
What is it with Leeds? They're all Leeds.
You're sounding quite left-wing tonight, Mark.
Well, you know what?
It's just been balanced.
I had a couple of drinks.
It doesn't mean a word.
Christmas has come early. What it is I want to make sure, and any show I'm involved in will never become an echo chamber.
You're very sincere there.
Well, I always want to hear the opposing view, because my viewers and listeners love that, because they find the shows that we do here at GB News are balanced. And I think it's only fair, therefore, to offer a bit of balance regarding Rachel Reeves. Liz, she's got time to fix this. Can she and will she?
Well, possibly, but I think what's been happening since the election was called is that the British people, slowly but surely, and this is what they hate most, they've been made to feel like fools, that to be played, and their intelligence to be insulted. Whether it's the repetition of my dad was a toolmaker, to suggest he was from such humble beginnings, Keir Starmer, when actually his dad owned a factory, and Rachel Reeves is a top economist, and David Lammy is a diplomat.
Oh, blimey. Yes, indeed. And on that one, I think we'll move swiftly on.